Dr. Marcus Ellery had seen his fair share of medical anomalies in his 20 years as a neurologist, but the past 6 months had unsettled him in a way nothing else had. It began subtly. One patient, then two, then five, all within weeks of each other. Each case was eerily similar. Otherwise healthy adults, mostly over the age of 50, showing up in the emergency room with signs of a transient ischemic attack or a minor stroke. Most were fitness conscious, some former athletes. All had elevated blood pressure in the days prior. None had a history of serious cardiovascular issues. But when Dr. Ellery dug deeper into their routines, a surprising connection emerged. They had all recently added a high-intensity inversion exercise to their workouts. It was one man, Charles, 61, whose case truly captured Ellery's attention. A retired engineer, Charles prided himself on staying fit. He did yoga, lightweight training, and recently, at the suggestion of a friend, began incorporating headstands into his daily stretching regimen. It's supposed to keep the brain young, Charles had said. Better circulation, better balance. Just 4 days after starting the new routine, Charles experienced sudden dizziness, blurred vision, and difficulty speaking. A trip to the hospital confirmed a mild stroke, luckily reversible, but frightening nonetheless. When Dr. Ellery reviewed the MRI scans, he saw restricted blood flow in the vertebral artery and signs of vessel strain in the cerebellar region. It wasn't coincidence. The human brain is a delicate organ, suspended in a bath of cerebrospinal fluid, supported by a web of vessels, nerves, and connective tissue. Unlike other muscles or organs in the body, it's not built to withstand sudden, forceful shifts in blood pressure, especially not from below. Dr. Ellery began researching inversion and head-down exercises. These include popular moves in yoga like headstands and shoulder stands, as well as the use of inversion tables, devices that tilt the body upside down to supposedly relieve spinal pressure or improve circulation. But for seniors or individuals with even mild hypertension, these exercises pose a hidden danger. When the body is inverted, gravity pushes blood toward the head, increasing pressure in the brain's vascular system. In young, healthy individuals with elastic arteries and strong heart regulation, this can sometimes be tolerated. But in older adults, especially those over 50, arteries are often less flexible. Microaneurysms, or undetected vascular weaknesses, can rupture under the stress, leading to hemorrhagic events, or in some cases, a stroke caused by dislodged plaque or sudden arterial constriction. One study Ellery reviewed from a European neurology journal described a similar pattern, a small but statistically significant increase in stroke-like events among older adults who practiced inversion exercises regularly. The mechanism? Rapid shifts in intracranial pressure, exacerbated by underlying vascular conditions that often go unnoticed until it's too late. Another patient, Margaret, 68, had taken up a trendy inversion yoga class advertised as brain rejuvenation at her local wellness center. On the third week, while holding a shoulder stand, she felt a blinding pressure behind her eyes and fainted moments after rising. Her blood pressure had spiked to dangerous levels while inverted, causing a small arterial tear near the base of her brainstem. It was becoming clear. These inversion-style exercises, marketed as therapeutic and anti-aging, were triggering silent time bombs in aging brains. Dr. Ellery sounded the alarm in his clinic. He advised his older patients to avoid any movement that placed their head below their heart for extended periods. That included full inversions, but also aggressive downward-facing postures like forward folds held for too long, especially during breath retention. One retired teacher, Henry, 74, had been using an inversion table for lower back pain. He insisted it helped, and for months it did. Until one morning, he stood up too fast after a 10-minute session and collapsed. Imaging revealed a mini-stroke that affected his short-term memory and speech. Though he recovered well, the event left a mark on Dr. Ellery's mind. "I had no idea hanging upside down could do this," Henry told him. Most people don't. That's the danger. Inversion isn't the only form of high-risk exercise. Dr. Ellery also found a worrying link between extreme breath-holding techniques, often taught in advanced yoga or calisthenic programs, and stroke risk. These methods, sometimes known as breath of fire or pranayama locking, involve forcefully retaining the breath while flexing internal muscles. The strain temporarily spikes blood pressure and intracranial pressure, which, when combined with age-weakened arteries, can trigger a stroke. In all cases, the common thread was this: seniors adopting fitness practices that their bodies were no longer equipped to handle. They were drawn in by the promise of youthfulness, mental clarity, and improved circulation, but at the cost of their neurological safety. Dr. Ellery wasn't against exercise, far from it. He routinely prescribed movement to his patients to reduce stroke risk. But what disturbed him was how little public awareness there was around how certain exercises could backfire with age. He wrote an article for a national medical journal titled, "When Upside Down Turns Dangerous: The Neurological Risks of Inversion Exercise in Seniors." In it, he detailed 6 cases, complete with imaging and recovery outcomes. The response from his peers was immediate. Some had noticed the same trends. Others admitted they hadn't thought to ask patients about such niche exercises. Soon, Dr. Ellery began giving talks at senior centers and wellness retreats, sharing the same message. If you're over 50, avoid inversion poses unless cleared by both your primary care physician and a neurologist. The brain is not a muscle to be flushed or trained through extremes. It needs consistency, oxygen, and protection, not pressure spikes and postural shocks. Instead, he recommended safer, brain-boosting activities: walking, tai chi, water aerobics, and light resistance training. These improved blood flow, stabilized blood pressure, and supported vascular health without the risk of overload. He reminded people that mental clarity and brain health didn't come from tricking the body into unnatural postures, but from years of consistent, moderate care: hydration, sleep, social engagement, and the kind of exercise that supports the body's real limits. What disturbed him most was the false sense of empowerment that came with these risky workouts. People believed they were taking control of their health, not realizing they were pushing their brains toward the brink. One afternoon, a woman named Ruth, 65, walked into his office clutching a yoga mat. "I've been doing headstands for years," she said, a little defiantly. "Why should I stop now?" Dr. Ellery pulled up 2 brain scans, one of her age group after a mild stroke and one healthy. He explained how a vessel weakened over decades might rupture without warning. "The risk isn't what you feel during the pose," he said gently. "It's what's happening inside, silently, invisibly, when gravity works against your brain." She paused, then slowly nodded. "I just wanted to stay young," she murmured. "We all do," Dr. Ellery replied. "But staying young means staying safe, and sometimes that means staying upright."